just love rainbows, don't you? Yeah. They give me a lift. My glasses. They lift my spirit. And what's really amazing is that they are always around. They're in white light. Just as a prism refracts the light, as you can see here, into a full spectrum of colours, please excuse my notes. Imagine the prism is people. And it's their body. That's the prism. Their physiology and the biochemistry. The full spectrum of components that make a personality are split through the prism. So the person, and that's the personality coming through. Just a chip in the prism will throw another rainbow in another direction. And the difference between people is how their body affects their mind and portrays the colours of that person. We're all made up of a blend of these components. Hi, my name's Michelle and I'm diagnosed with depression. Feels a bit like an AA meeting. I'm also a follower of Christ, although I'm not a regular churchgoer. Admitting my illness to myself has been difficult, and reconciling it with my faith has been a challenge. But I'm learning to work with both. We're not friends with each other yet. I've lived with depression, mostly undiagnosed, since my teens. I was first diagnosed with postnatal depression in 1980 after my second daughter was born. I blame Samantha. And then with a severe depressive disorder in 1992, which has been ongoing. I've managed my illness with some excellent GPs, medications, counselling, and the fabulous support from my family and friends. Many people are unaware that I have this illness because, I appear functional and happy. Well, on and off, and on and off. I've learned about me and that I'm on the spectrum, a rolling scale of states of mind. So just imagine that I'm not one thing or the other. I'm a bit of all of it and I keep moving about. I like the thought of me as being a multivariate. I think I made that word up. Especially multicoloured, hence the brown tonight. This has helped me to accept myself and embrace my sliding spectrum of moods and mental states. My kids and I often laugh about our roller coaster ride. I want to share with you some of what I have learned in my journey, being a bit longer than some of our younger ones here. And how I've reconciled my mental health and my faith, because they are core to who I am. I grew up with a loving and kind family, with traditional white Anglo-Saxon Christian principles. My illness doesn't care about that and feeds off the guilt and the shame and the unworthiness to hide the hope and forgiveness and acceptance that is outlined in Scripture, as I believe. The acceptance. I've had judgment and discrimination and terrible unsolicited advice from some Christians who have difficulty accepting the human reality of mental illness. Depressed? Well, just go and pray harder. Oh, well, your faith mustn't be strong enough then. Or, oh, just confess your sins. I really love this one. Throw away your meds. Trust God. Well, so to make sense of this and survive, I've looked into the Bible and I've found quite a few crazy characters. That is, today I think they would have been diagnosed with a mental health condition. But it seems to me that their society accepted them into their society instead of ostracising and labelling them. I'm not talking about the ones who were chained up and, the demon spirit-filled ones. But Jonah and Elijah wanted to die. Jeremiah talked about his anguish, and this is really deep stuff. David said in the psalm, "Why are you downcast, O my soul? Why so disturbed within me?" And even Jesus experienced extreme mental states of mind. The Bible talks about wretchedness, distress, brokenheartedness, despair, anguish, and self-loathing. I know these well. When I read about the depths of feeling and the mental states in these and other characters, and see that they weren't judged on this, I'm encouraged. I see acceptance of the variation of people and personalities, of being human, of making mistakes, of failing. If these flawed characters can be accepted by God, then there's hope for me. I've also learned to read things differently. Do not despair is no longer a command, where if I fail it's yet another judgment. But now I read it as a hope of gentle support and recognition. So do not despair. I believe in strength from diversity. I believe that we all have the spectrum of the human mind and that it is a sliding scale called mental health. I believe in understanding, which leads to acceptance and forgiveness. My dream is that maybe we don't have to change and that society will accept and celebrate our diversity. I'd like to finish with a quote from one of my daughters when she was talking to a friend of hers who was struggling with mental health issues. "Good luck with the crisis thing. My family's awkwardly amusing openness to mental health offends a lot of uptight people. Know that whatever you are going through, there are people like you and me and our family that will always listen and offer a cup of tea." Thank you.